Good evening, children. We'll continue our second topic, that is chapter number 2 from NCRT textbook, that is nutrition in animals. We are going to talk about diarrhea today, then we are going to talk about ruminants, then and in the end of the chapter, we are going to talk about digestion amoeba. So, here we are going to talk about diarrhea. Children, as you know, in the common language, we call diarrhea as loose motion. There are many symptoms to it, like you're feeling feverish, or there might be abdominal pain, loose watery stool, cramps, mucus in the stool, blotting, etc. etc. So, what causes this diarrhea? There are many things which causes diarrhea. One of them is virus, especially rotavirus in the smaller children. Then bacteria, parasite. Then it might happen because of the certain medication also. There are people who are lactose intolerant. What are lactose intolerant? Who cannot digest lactose sugar which is found in milk. They also feel diarrhea, or they may it might cause to them. Then there is artificial sweeteners which are put into the different food items which can cause surgery also, and there are certain digestive disorders. But here we are just going to talk about general things on diarrhea. Like, it is a condition of passing watery stool. It might have occurred in your life many a times. It is caused by infection or food poisoning or indigestion, which I have already discussed. It is commonly occurred in children. They keep on eating things from outside, from here and there. So balanced diet is important for children, and they should be hydrated properly. If it is more than two weeks, for a few days it is okay. One can recover after that. If it prolongs more than a 2 week, that means there is a serious problem, and that means there is excessive loss of water and salt from the body. Suppose you're having a diarrhea, you can have oral rehydration solution. That is, you have to take plenty of boiled and cooled water with pinch of salt mixed into it. You can add sugar also it, which will again balance the neutralite content in your body. Now, children, we are going to start with activity which is given in your book, that is activity number 2.3. I have marked a activity 1 for you. So what is this activity? This activity is basically to test that the food which we are eating is starch, and later on the starch is converted into sugar once you put that food into your mouth. For that, let's do one activity. Before we start our experiment to test the presence of starch in food, let us first understand what exactly is meant by starch. Starch is a complex carbohydrate present in our food which we eat. If we want to talk about its smell, it is odorless basically. You cannot taste it because it is tasteless. It is white in color. So the next question arises, what are the major sources of starch? The major source is rice. Today we are going to use rice in our activity. Corn, which we call makka in Hindi. Then wheat, gehu, potatoes like aloo. These are the 4 or 5 major sources of starch. So now let us start our activity to test the presence of starch in our food. For that, I have taken one petri dish. In that petri dish, I have taken some cooked rice, which I have mixed it with my saliva and kept it in the petri dish. In the same petri dish where I have kept rice, um, I have put water with the help of dropper so to make the medium little bit watery. So the mixture of water and that rice which we have chewed in our mouth is put into the test tube, and in that test tube we have to add some drops of iodine solution with the help of a dropper. You can see the iodine solution there. So what will happen if we add iodine solution into it? The sample is going to turn blue black. So what is the conclusion of this activity? Conclusion is the saliva is breaking down starch into sugar. And this also concludes that whenever starch reacts with iodine solution, it turns blue black. So the rice which was cooked and which was chewed by our mouth is showing that it has starch in it. Now let us discuss about grass eating animals. Digestive system and grass eating animals. Plant eaters like domestic cattle, panda, elephant, etc. have specialized stomach made up of different chambers, one of which includes rumen. A longer digestive system as compared to carnivores. So what are carnivores? It is flesh eating animals. So longer digestive system as compared to carnivores allows these herbivores to feed on vegetation which is high in cellulose. Children, now you know what are cellulose. So these animals eat cellulose. These cellulose are eaten by these animals to digest these plant products. Herbivores have bacteria in their stomach. Long digestive system of ruminant. In cattle, the digestive system, instead of opening into stomach where the digestion occurs, it opens into rumen and reticulum. Rumination. Grass eating animals like cattle are called as ruminants because they perform rumination. During rumination, the food is first chewed in mouth and swallowed. In rumen, the food is partially digested to form curd. Later on, this curd is brought back into animal's mouth for chewing. This is called rumination or curd chewing. Let us understand more about rumination or curd chewing with the help of this video.
In cattle called ruminant, the digestion of food takes place in different way. In ruminants, like cow, the stomach consists of 4 compartments: rumen, reticulum, omasum, abomesum. When cow eats food, it first chews the food in order to moisten it. Once swallowed, food first goes into the rumen, where it mixes with digestive juices and gets softened. This softened food is called cud. Now the rumen muscles contract and send the cud back up to the cow's mouth through reticulum, where it is re-chewed and swallowed again. This time, food enters omasum part of the stomach and finally enters the last part of the stomach called abomesum, where it mixes with digestive juices and makes its way to the intestine for complete digestion. Hence, chewing of cud is necessary because the foods that ruminant animals eat are difficult to digest and it takes extra effort to get all of the nutrients from the food.
Nutrition in amoeba. Let us understand about the nutrition in amoeba with the help of following video. Children, once you have watched this video, we will be ending the chapter. So this was our chapter number 2, nutrition in animals. I hope that everybody must have understood the topic. Thank you.
Is a free-living protozoan that occurs singly in the bottom mud or on the underside of aquatic vegetation in ponds, lakes, springs, and slow-running streams. Amoeba is a microscopic, single-celled organism. To the naked eye, largest amoeba is just visible as whitish spot. Under the microscope, it appears as an irregular, colorless, and translucent mass of protoplasm. Cytoplasm of amoeba is differentiated into outer ectoplasm and inner granular endoplasm. The inner endoplasm is further divided into outer jelly-like plasma gel and inner fluid-like plasmasol. Amoeba changes its shape and position by formation of finger-like processes known as pseudopodia or false feet are formed, which are the blunt extension of amoeba's body. Many pseudopodia are formed simultaneously in Amoeba proteus, and hence it is also called polypodial species. Pseudopodia are used in locomotion and food ingestion. Amoeba feeds on some microscopic organisms like diatoms present in the water. The ingestion takes place by phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is a process in which solid food sources are engulfed by the cell membrane. Though amoeba lacks sense organs, but it displays its sense of food by approaching some food substances while avoiding others. Amoeba captures and engulfs its food by means of pseudopodia. Pseudopodia are formed at the point of contact between the surface of amoeba's body and food particle. On coming in contact with an immotile organism for food, an amoeba extends its pseudopodia around the organism, envelops and engulfs it. On encountering a motile organism for food, it slowly engulfs the organism by extending the pseudopodia in the direction of prey. The pseudopodia forms a cup-like structure called food cup, which constricts to form a phagocytotic food vacuole or phagosome. Phagosome encloses the captured prey in a considerable amount of water. It moves slowly inside the endoplasm due to cyclosis. In an actively feeding amoeba, several phagosomes can be found. Lysosomes containing digestive juices fuse with the food vacuole. The digestive juices in acidic medium kill the trapped organism and then digestion of complex molecules takes place. Gradually, the food vacuole shrinks and the product of digestion are diffused into the cytoplasm. The food vacuole of amoeba is analogous to alimentary canal of other higher animals. As the amoeba moves forward, the undigested matter is shifted to the back and removed as food pellet formed at the nearby point on the cell membrane.